In this video, we're going to teach you everything how to reload. Flew down here to Alabama to my good old buddy, the Silver Fox. A savant when it comes to reloading, got everything you can see here in his personal setup. Man, we've just been having fun looking at all the different bullets and casings and sizings and trials and tests. What we came down here for was, so I just built this 300 Blackout, called the Dirt Squirrel. We'll do a whole nother video on this. So this is a 7.5-inch barrel suppressed. And so what we wanted to do was make sure we got some ammo that cycled well, held the bolt open, and then we'll do some accuracy and everything else.
That's it.
Is that right?
That's it.
So everything, keep in mind, is for this gun in particular, but in general, what we're talking about goes for any calibers that you'd be loading. So we're going to start the process from shot brass, because that's really the deal if you're reloading. That's the benefit, right? You can reload the brass and save the money.
Reload. That's it.
And fine-tune your own
rifle.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So let's do it. I'll set this down.
The first thing is I have a tumbler inside that room there that I take, clean all the brass. It comes out and it looks like this, unprimed already. And then we measure, and it should they should all be within spec of like 136.
And you get those specs from a book.
A book. There's
the internet, a book. There's a lot of different ways to see. And that tells you specifically case length.
Case length.
Okay.
And that's where you start. Then from there, you clean your brass, make sure there's no burrs on the outer edge or inner edge. You clean it, and then it's ready to put the primer in. And from there,
so wait, at that point, it's ready. Now you're going to check one more time. Are you going to cut it down?
If it needs it. But most of the time, this particular brass has only been shot once. So
that
there's nothing that I see.
And walk me through what happens to brass. You reuse brass, you shoot it. Does it elongate? Does it stretch out?
It gets longer. And the one thing that I would say is, to me, I watch really close, is to make sure there's no cracks in the brass up in this upper portion or any place.
What happens if you shot cracked brass?
It's not going to be good for the gun or you, either one.
You want to mess that pretty face up.
You don't want to mess anything up.
That face up. But, okay, so we've got shot brass. We sonicated it, or just you spin it, you tumbled it?
Tumbled it.
And then you kind of deburr it.
Yep,
and then
get it all clean.
Take a caliper.
Make sure it's within the tolerances.
And let's say it's not. Let's say it's too long.
It's too long. There's a machine right down here.
There's a machine for that.
Yep. This, and then you turn it. You'll turn this down.
Spin that. So you've got you stick a stopper in there. You pretty much spin it till it hits that stopper, and then it won't cut any further.
This is your stopper right there. So it's not going to cut any further than that. So you adjust it, and then you take the ones that are too long, and you trim them. And then you deburr.
Okay.
And then you put it in your sizing die, and you size it or resize it. And then you put your primer in, and then you're ready for that batch of bullets to be reloaded.
Okay. Let's see a resizing tool.
You always want to use a little lube. There's different ways to do the case lube, but I don't load that many at one time whenever I'm testing particular bullets, so I do them by hand. It goes in this. And that one is resized. It's ready to be primed. That's been re-primed. So that particular...
and so on the resizing, is it opening the mouth? Is it closing the mouth?
It's actually, well, I'll show you. This is one that's not been resized. And you can see it doesn't sit. And that one, it's not going to sit quite as easily as it sits in that one. So, and that's what you want. You want it where...
Sure, hard to see, but you can feel the difference.
You can feel the difference. It's not as much in this one as it is on this one.
Do you resize every single casing every time?
I'll resize all.
Everyone goes through.
Yeah, you have to go through that.
And you already set this up for the right length.
I set, this is for my 300 Blackout, so it's all been set. Now, the The difference is going to be whenever you start to put your bullets in, you have a different setting on the top of this for the different depths that you want your bullets. Pop the primer out, it's ready to go. I'm going to lube it a little bit just because it wasn't quite as easy to.
Now you lube the outside and the inside a little bit.
Just the neck of it, just a little bit, yeah. So it's all cleaned. That's ready.
Resized right
I'm
there.
going to take, it's already been resized.
Now, is there worry about you just lubed it, getting the lube in mixed with the
The lube is not going to affect the powder or anything. It's not going to get in there, but it's not going to hurt anything.
So is there a faster way to measure out? Because this seems like the slowest part of the game.
I have this part right here where if I wanted to load a lot of rounds really quick, I would put my powder in here and adjust it to 12.1 grains. And then I would put my shell underneath here, and this would go up and it would put 12.1 grains in. Now in this, there's different bullet designs that you can get to put in here.
Because if it's bullnose or...
That's right.
Okay.
So those are quick locks. Some
nice.
are not, they don't always come like that. They don't come like that. They come with this collar.
If you don't lube a case very well, what can happen?
It'll stick into your die.
And then what
And
happens?
then you have to drill it out, and then you have to tap it, and then you have to pull the bullet out. It's a lot of work.
Pull the
It's
shell out.
The shell out. So it's a lot of work. I don't recommend,
Doing that.
you know.
So they make some sprays, right? You could just load a bunch in there and just kind of do an overall spray, or you could lube each one.
We have a lube pad where you just take and lay those over and run those through. Same thing. I just use that because whenever I start loading a lot of bullets, I'll use the pads, the case lube spray. You can use sprays. There's a lot of different types out there.
So would you say this is, reloading in general, maybe a little bit more of a hobby? Is it a money-saving thing? Is it more for you? Is it, you want to be precise? You're building most of your own guns, so you want to fine-tune things?
For me, it's I'm able to fine-tune what I want to shoot. That's it. My granddaughter doesn't like a bullet that kicks really bad, so and she doesn't like it really loud. So I build bullets that will ethically kill the deer, but that doesn't kick really bad.
That's great.
So this extracts bullets, and I didn't want it completely out. Pushed it out.
Mm-hmm.
So now that one is back where it should be as far as the dimensions.
So what we're doing here is our die was set for this bullet. You see the chamfer there is just hanging there. And a second ago, this one was buried too far in. Now you knocked that back a little bit, but we need to reset the die so that we don't push these so far down.
That's it. Whenever we start building the 220 grain, we'll adjust the die to that.
All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Reloading. It was long-form Q&A, but I hope you could learn a lot and really ask the questions that you've been meaning to ask. Two things I want to note. First, these mags are 300 Blackout specific. I got them so they had different color on the bottom, so I didn't make mistakes. But 300 Blackout magazines have a little heavier spring. Now, you don't need that. You can perfectly load 300 Blackout in your 5.56-223. I just was going to buy any new ones anyway, so I bought 300 Blackouts. They have a heavier spring in them is the difference. So I noticed when I was loading them, I see it happen right there. If I don't really shove it in there, I noticed that I was getting some magazines loose. So has that ever happened to you? If so, comment, let me know your thoughts. As long as I'm cognizant of it, or you start with the bolt back, load it, and then ram it forward, you're fine. But something to be aware of, as I was learning, I had a few of these mags fall out, which is never good. And one more quick thing, you'll notice that this is a pistol brace. I am totally legal at the moment. By the time this airs, who knows what the government will make me a felon or not. That's a whole different concept and episode, but I just want you to know that this is currently very legal. All right, remember to like and subscribe. Talk soon. Bye.